There we go. Let's see. We haven't done one of these in a little while, so I thought I'd jump on. I've been tracking this virus for 2 months now, and the data is getting bigger. Honestly, it really is. Let's see if we can. I got 37 things open. Let's do an update because I haven't done that. And it's April 1st, but this is not an April Fool's joke by any means. Okay, here's the screen. Let's see what we can see. And I think I'm almost ready to go here. All right, there's my darn screen. And we got a couple of interesting developments that have occurred. I've been tracking this thing since January 20, back when there were 278 cases in the world, and most of those were in China. There are actually 4 international cases back on that date. Uh, it's grown substantially since then. And we got a problem with China's numbers, always have, and it's started to get out more and more that their figures are just totally cooked. This is the curve. If you take a graph of China's numbers, it's been totally politicized, and I've been saying it. This is the curve, right, of cases and exponential growth. And we were actually going through and showing that these figures were plottable using a quadratic equation. We could estimate the number of cases that would develop each day based on an equation, and we'd be accurate to 2 or 3. And then this happens? No, this is total bullshit. Always has been. Estimates of the actual numbers of cases in China range from 5 million to 20 million. And that's not bullshit. They got a black rain falling in Japan from the burning of the bodies. So this figure in the first column, I'm going to disregard that more because that includes the 80,000 cases reported in China. Now over in this other column, column P, I've got the number of international cases. And still, some of these cases, some of these counts are kind of bullshit. Let's see, where is this map? Let's see if we can see that. As I jump around, we're going to have to check the screen because I got so much stuff open. Okay, here we go. We got a lot of countries that, well, maybe their reporting isn't quite up to par. One of them would be, well, China, of course, and they're reporting 81,556. These are made up numbers. We cannot have faith in those numbers. Another one would be Iran. Again, it's an oppressive regime. We can't take much stock in those figures. They're totally what? They don't make sense. Some nations are doing pretty well. South Korea seems to be putting out outstanding information, and it looks like they got a good handle on the situation over there. German, here we go. What do you got? 76,000 cases. French at 52. These also seem to be pretty good. Spain, while they've got 102,000 cases, we think there's a tremendous amount of underreporting in that nation. Gosh, I hope not. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of cases flying around. Lots of people walking around. They don't know they have the disease. They're not showing symptoms, but they're still spreading it. And honestly, it comes down to one simple fact that if you want to be safe, you have to look out for yourself and take care of yourself. And the best way to do it, here you go, is wear a mask, and you can be cooler than Fonzie jumping over that shark. And if you know what I'm talking about, well, this is probably as cool as you're going to get is by wearing a mask. And I thought we'd talk about masks for a bit. Let's see. I've got a. Let's go through. Where the heck is it? Is this it? No. Here we go. Fact. This is a fact. A mask. Just the simple act of wearing a face mask, be it an N95 respirator or a homemade mask. My sister makes these. Seriously, they're wonderful things. She's got 2 sizes, one for small people, small children, another for regular adults. I could talk about this for a bit. Let's see. We've got, this is quilting weight fabric. There are 120 to 200 thread is the count. And you've got a cotton fused interfacing. Now, dude, this means next to nothing to me because I don't sew. But she's got these things. They're pleated. They're wonderful. The elastic bands go around your ears. She can also make them go around your whole head. And a soap and water cleanup. You can use bleach, but it will tend to affect the color if if that's a thing. Don't worry about the color so much. And besides which, just throw them in your regular laundry with a Tide Pod that a teenager has not eaten yet, and you're probably going to be okay. Uh, yeah, wonderful things. Now my sister makes these things, and if you'd like to get some, we're looking at $10 shipped, and at least 3 at a time. And yeah, you can wash them many, many times. And I guess it's down to the strength of the detergent that will determine how long the elastic bands will last. Yeah, well, she needed a job, and she can sew. And this is actually her. There's her window. There's, what is that, an ironing board? She got a striped ironing board cover. All right. But fact, masks will protect you. It is better than no mask at all. You've got, let's see if I can open this image and zoom in. Okay, I can't do that. Let's try saving it. I'll save that to mask data. There we go. And then I should be able to open that up. There, and I can zoom in quite a bit. Okay, there have been some health officials that have said don't wear them. They don't help you, and we need them for the doctors and nurses. Okay, what they're trying to do is cause people to not buy the darn thing so that more are available for doctors and nurses. Because if they're not helping you, why would they help doctors and nurses? The masks, wearing them, you've got some cultures that are wearing them pretty regularly. Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, South Korea. And looking at their case counts and the growth in their cases, it's a whole lot lower than the rest of the world where the culture does not wear these masks. And they're either surgical masks or just a piece of cloth or a bandana or the N95 respirators you can get. Let's see. I've got one around here somewhere. There's the face. Okay, where's mine? Okay, an N95 respirator will contain 95% of particulate matters in the air. Excuse me. I used to wear these all the time on construction sites. They're dusty. We got a lot of silicates flying around because we work with masonry, brick, high temperature brick. Bad stuff. You don't want to be breathing this stuff in. You're going to have troubles later on. Okay, what makes these wonderful is this little valve at the front. Okay, it's just a little flap, but when you breathe out, it will open and it releases all that moisture that's in your breath so you don't clog up the mask. And that's a beautiful thing. Now, this is a special material. Let's see, I can probably zoom in on that. Let me grab this scope. And honestly, I don't know what the heck they make these out of. Here's the scope, and you can see it's got a pretty fine fiber weave to it. Let's see. There's my finger. There's my, okay. There's my finger, and my finger's on the mask. And there's the N95 respirator. These are made by 3M. That's a NIOSH. N95, okay, N95, there it is. Yeah, and they're wonderful. They hold up quite nicely. Typically, these are not particularly available right now. People have been buying them up. States are going out, buying up what they can. Construction companies still need them if they're going to do the kind of work in the dusty areas that these require. But the hospitals need these the most. And well, a lot of hospitals are disposing of the darn things. There's a machine that's been developed that will sanitize the things, and it's been proven that temperatures will sanitize the things in a few hours. Now, studies have been done about surfaces and the virus surviving on surfaces, and well, if you got temperature on the darn things, you can pretty much cook them clean. It seems the temperature of your vehicle, right, if you lock the doors, will be enough to cook that thing and sterilize it in a day. But after 3 days, you can probably wear it again and have no problems at all. Let's see. I keep one in my truck so I can go to the store. Went to the store today, as a matter of fact. Okay. Wore my mask. Another great aspect is the band around the nose. You put that on and you can fit that to your face. Some people have big heads, small heads. You want to get rid of those air gaps, and so that's pretty darn handy there. I wear my mask when I go out, and I went to the store today for a few supplies, fertilizer, for example, a shovel, Picked up some seed, bread and milk. Didn't get toilet paper because I don't need toilet paper. I got enough for 9 months. If I run out of toilet paper, it's the least of my troubles. But when I'm done, I put the darn thing in a bag, stick it up on the dashboard because I'm not going to leave the house for another week. Okay, uh, real handy. Now, if you cannot sterilize it with heat, time is your friend, right? If you have a couple of different masks and you only wear one every 4 days, that's enough time for the thing to just sitting there, the virus will perish. Also, when I go shopping, because I went today, I had another Ziploc bag, real handy, in which I stuck a towel, just a regular old towel. I think it was a cut up piece of T-shirt, and I had, dipped it in some bleach water. A gallon of bleach, a cap, no, wait, a gallon of water, a cap full of bleach. I use this to wipe down my kitchen when I'm cooking. But that's the strength. A very, very small amount of bleach will sanitize surfaces. So when I go into the store, of course, I'm going to grab the handle to get in. I'm going to use my card. I'm going to pick up stuff. There's one kid in there licking the countertop. Is this a public health problem or is it a public education problem? Seriously, I turned away, I looked back, he's running over, he's licking the door handle. Stop! You're killing me. I was the only one in the store that had a mask. The only one. Well, another lady had one, but she's got it down her throat so she can, breathe? Okay. We're at a point over the next 2 months where this disease is going to spread more and more. And if you go out once a week or once every 10 days or once every 2 weeks to buy supplies, you'll be able to tell if you do get sick. That this is the day right here, that Tuesday when I went to Walmart, that was the day that I got sick. Because the rest of the time, if you're doing it right, you're staying home, right? You're not mingling with 30 people at a cocktail party. You're not letting your kids out to play with other kids and, potentially bring disease back. You'll be able to tell what day you caught that disease and where you were when you caught it. So, it might not be a bad idea to keep a record, just a simple notepad or a piece of paper to keep track of where you were, who you were talking to, what you were doing, what time. And that can help tracing if it comes to it. Just that little bit can help protect other people. I went to this doctor's office at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and geez, now you got 10 other people that were in there at the same time, and you can help to trace, the pattern of spread of the disease. But seriously, if you go out at this point for the next couple of months, if you go out there and you don't have a mask, anything is better than nothing. You can take an old T-shirt and tie it around your head as a bandana. You think it looks funny? It looks a lot funnier when you got a fever of 105 and you can't breathe from pneumonia. Seriously, your own personal safety is in your hands. Respirator is good. A mask is pretty good. My sister uses those things with that diffused interfacing, which seems to be a standard for these homemade get-ups. The quilting weight of the fabric is pretty tight. Looks good. People have approved it. Nurses are using the darn things, and they're reusable. Get a mask. If you must go out in public, at least wear a mask. Gloves can help. The mask, they're going to keep the particulates that other people are breathing out. They'll keep you from breathing them in. Or it will reduce the amount of virus material that you're breathing in, okay? Maybe somebody's walked through that shop where you're going to pick up your groceries, and they don't know they're sick, right? But they're breathing out virus because the virus gets in, it starts reproducing, and you breathe them out, and you have no symptoms. You have no fever, no cough, you feel fine, you haven't turned blue or pink or green. These are asymptomatic spreaders, and they're out there. How many, we don't know. But we can take a look at the figures and estimate anywhere from 3 to 10 times the number of reported cases. 3 to 10 times that many probably are walking around right now in various cities, states, counties, stores, maybe in your town, maybe in the store that you're going to go to. It is now your responsibility to look out for your own health. And the best way to do it is with something to block these particulates from getting into your lungs. Now, you got this thing called inoculum. If you do get the disease, it's looking like the people who are getting a high exposure, initial exposure, right? Somebody, maybe a patient, coughs in their face, and the doctor or nurse treating them gets a high exposure because when somebody coughs, they cough a lot of virus, and so that person picks up a lot of virus when they're initially infected. Whereas somebody wearing a mask would have a reduced uh, initial load. And it seems that the smaller the load of virus that are initially picked up is gonna help because it gives the body time to start making antibodies to combat that virus. Now, viruses, they grow exponentially in the body. One virus gets into a cell and just turns it into a virus-making factory. Uh, so the smaller the number of viruses you have initially, well, it's going to take time for those viruses to build up enough numbers that you begin to show symptoms and signs. And if you have a heavy load, you can go into the severe case uh, category just because your body does not have as much time to combat that initial load. Uh, them respirators are going to, they'll probably keep you safer. And if you get sick, they'll keep you from getting as sick. And by gosh, we want to see you get through this thing. Honestly, that's as much as we can hope for. Um, so let's get back to that chart I was looking at. Scope. Here's the screen, and where the heck was mask save lives? Yeah, look at this. Here's Italy. You got 12,000 deaths. Can we see this? Okay. Yeah, and this was what 331. So this is yesterday's figures. Um, and Italy is a low mask wearing culture. Now we got a Taiwan, we got 5 deaths, 5 versus 12,000. Now the disease has been going around Thailand for a lot longer. It's been going around Italy, but they are a high mask wearing culture. Okay, Spain, just like Italy, a whole lot of deaths in a short time, and they don't wear those masks. That mask is going to be the difference between getting sick or not getting sick. And if you do get sick, you're not going to get as sick. Japan, 56 deaths. Again, a high mask wearing culture. USA, we just hit, what are we at today? Let's find out where we are today. We're at 4,000 deaths. We've now lost more people to this virus than we did to 9/11, right? Okay, let me find my way back. I got too many windows open. We've lost more people to the virus than 9/11. And they talk about 9/11 20 years later here. And we're a low mask wearing culture. Now, I went to the hardware store and there were 3 people in there. There was Dennis and his wife, I don't know her name, Jennifer, whatever it was, but both of them had a mask. And I had a mask. And they had their own masks. They didn't share one. So there were 3 people, 3 masks. South Korea, 162 deaths. And another high wearing culture. So they wear masks in Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea. 556 and 162. They don't wear masks commonly in Italy with 12,000, Spain with 8,000, and the U.S. coming in third. Okay, we got the bronze at 3,000, well, 4,000 now. And these folks don't wear masks. If you made one single difference in your life that would probably help you survive, and probably help you not even get sick, or if you did, be less sick, the mask would do it. Just a mask. A bandana is better than nothing. It would decrease, it would block some of the virus if you're walking through a place where it's, floating in the air. And the figures are not lying. This is evidence-based information. We've got real figures to back it up. Okay. What else is going on in the world? Oh, let's see. I had a whole bunch of notes to talk about. Here it is. Where are you here? Okay. Oh, here. Good. Okay. Each time you leave the house, you're going to expose yourself to risk. So if you buy the groceries once a week, well, if you picked up twice as many groceries and went to the supermarket every 2 weeks, all by itself, you've cut your risk in half. If you break your quarantine, if you stay home, you're probably going to be good. Somebody comes in to visit or drop off a pie because they love you or they want to be nice and here's a hug. Breaking that quarantine and mingling with other people for the next couple of months, that's your opportunity to get sick. If you don't break the quarantine, that's good news. That's good luck for you. It's better, I think, to stay healthy and for your friends to stay healthy so you can have a big fat party afterwards than to risk it and go get a hug and then get sick. I think it's better to take 2 months of your life and just stay the hell home. Really, it's not hard. Now, when I go to the supermarket, okay, I want to talk about decontamination procedures. Okay, when I go to the supermarket, and I went today, picked up a few things. Um, I got a towel with me. Now you can take a bucket with soapy water, have a lid on there, maybe a Tupperware container type of thing, or just a towel with bleach water is going to be to your advantage. You get some kind of sanitizing wipe, so much the better. But wipe down those purchases before bringing them into your house, right? This is the time you're able to bring contaminated goods into the house. They come from the store where somebody could be walking around just breathing out the virus. Virus lands on your box of Twinkies. You haven't eaten the Twinkies, but it's on the box. You touch the box with your hand, then scratch your nose, and guess what? Now you're sick. Okay, so wipe down those purchases. Ideally, how about before you put them in the car? Okay, how many frozen items do you have? Um, it's it's a 25-minute drive to get to the supermarket here. If I get something frozen, I want to get it into the house pretty quick. But wiping down those purchases is not at all a bad idea. If you can trace what day you got sick because you broke quarantine, right, or you went shopping an extra time, uh, what are you talking? 4 times a month you got to leave the house, or 2 times a month? Let's get into some decontamination procedures so we can reduce our risk all the more. We want to decontaminate our goods. We want to decontaminate our body. Well, geez, it doesn't take anything to have just a torn up old T-shirt with some bleach water on it and wipe down your face, your arms, your hands, right? What about your clothing? Uh, would you feel comfortable changing your shirt in a parking lot? I see no reason with removing the clothing once you get home, and wipe down the rest of your body with some sanitizing bleach or soap water or something, and also take care of that mask or respirator that you have. And honestly, leaving it on the dashboard in your car will sanitize it in a few days, even without the heat. The virus won't survive for more than a couple of days on there. Okay, so let's reduce risk and decontaminate when we do break quarantine for those reasons we need to, okay? Oh, here's a neat one. What do we got? People have talked about the virus mutating. Let's see if I can open this up. Hello, nothing's happening. What's it doing? Wait for it. The computer's getting slow. Right now, we're showing 2,629 different strains of this virus. And let's see if we can see this whole thing. Here it is. And I'll get you the link here. This is nextstrain.org, NCOV. I'm going to copy that and paste it over here in the chat. There we go. Now, I'm not paying attention to the chat right now because I'm trying to show off so much more stuff. There it is. This is the genomic epidemiology of the novel coronavirus. That's this thing that's going around, and it started back here in China with a single strain and quickly broke into several more, and some of these continue to break, and you can trace these to what particular date and where they're showing up in the world. So here in the U.S., we've got several different strains. One's more indigenous to Washington, right? One's more indigenous to, well, what's this one? The USA WA UW42 2020. This is a little beyond my my understanding, but these are the gene mapping results of, what are we at? 20 over 2,600 different mutations this virus has gone through so far. I'm sure some of them are a little more mean or vicious or cruel than others, and I would suspect that those which favor transmission would be the strains that would pass around more. Looks like Washington, this red group looks to be pretty popular in Washington. Let's see, there's Wales, France, they're up in the green line. Different nations have different strains, and when you shut down that nation, that strain kind of stays put and doesn't spread around as much. So this is a highly contagious disease. It is breathed out by people who don't know they have it. It has every possible advantage to it, honestly. I think the only thing it's not doing is sexual transmission, but there's a lot of heavy breathing involved with that, at least as far as I can remember. Let's see. Okay, Craft Passion. I'll get you this link here in just a moment. Let's see, copy link address. I'll paste that. And here we go. Craft Passion has a link on face mask sewing patterns, and they'll explain. My sister hooked me up with that. It explains how to make them, what you need for materials, how to do it well, how to wear them. Is a pretty girl, okay? Doesn't hurt your ears. Yeah, materials, sizes, cuts, shapes, the different patterns for men, women, teenagers, kids, older kids, younger kids, everything you need. It's in zip files, and just click on the links and you'll be good to go. If you can't make your own, okay, my sister makes the darn things, and here's what the heck they look like. Yeah, they're pleated, so they'll fit any head, but smaller people would want smaller pieces. What you start these at 9x7 before pleating the darn things. Yeah, and I guess she's not making for boys, she's not giving you girly designs, and for girls, she's not giving boy designs. Okay, that makes good sense. Well, how about just a uni-gender? Here's one, a nice little tie-dye. That'll get you by. Dude, don't be worried about the design on the mask. Let's worry about whether or not you're wearing the darn things, because that's the difference that's going to take to save lives, is more people wearing more masks. Really, that needs to be the thing, right? You're not cool if you don't have a mask. No, I try to be cool, but let's face it, I was born in the 60s, so being cool is not easy for me. I try and try. Okay, there. Let's see. Oh, here's Dr. John Campbell. I meant to give you his channel link. Great information here. Here's copy link address. And here's the link to Dr. John. Great information about the disease, right? He doesn't get into politics. He just talks about the disease. Excuse me. And how to keep yourself safe. Because your safety is now fully your responsibility. And there's no hiding that. The government isn't going to force you to wear a mask if you don't want to wear a mask. So the government is not going to force you to stay home. They might try, but they can't be everywhere. It's up to you. Your family will want to come over. I went to my brother's house today. We didn't get more than, 6 or 8 feet apart. This is my brother. I've known him all my life. Anyway, most of his. He's a little older than me. Linda says pipe cleaner sewn across the top. That's right. My sister takes a pipe cleaner, cuts it to the length of some foil tape, and then folds that flat a couple times over the pipe cleaner, and then sews it into the bridge of the mask, so you're able to pinch it. The N95s, have that beautiful little piece of metal to shape it to your face, because if you have a gap, you're still just breathing out. I've seen people wear masks for plenty of reasons, and sometimes they'll drop it down, right, so that they can breathe either through the nose. If it doesn't have the vent, or if it doesn't have more surface area to disperse the humidity in your breath, some of these masks, they just get saturated with water, and then you can't breathe through the darn things when they get soaking wet from your own breathing. So they drop them down. And then what? They're just breathing through their freaking nose. why even wear the damn thing, right? Honestly, you might want to get a few masks so you can change them out once in a while if that's a problem. If you're doing some heavy labor, some heavy work, if it's a hot temperature you're in, stay out of the sauna. It doesn't do any good. But stay home. Take responsibility for your own safety and the safety of your family and stay the fuck home. It's not that hard to figure out. Let me catch up on chat for a bit because I've been, well, just rambling about stuff. It gets more colorful here. The first person that makes the RPM group face mask gets a big hug when this crap is all over. Yep. We're working on a big fat party for when it's all over. We're calling it the where is it? Oh, here it is. There's my shirt. There it is. The Naked Moonshine Toilet Paper Bonfire Party. We got a group on Facebook just for that, and that includes some of the links that I've given you here. One day they're gonna let us all out. They're gonna say all clear. They'll blow the horn, and dude, it's gonna be they're gonna party like it's 1999. Yep. Seriously, it's gonna make the '60s look like it was nothing but nuns running around. It'll be a circus for sure. Linda says, I spray my mailbox with Lysol and wear gloves to remove mail. Outstanding. Junk mail goes right in the trash can under the mailbox. I spray the mail with Lysol and let it dry before opening. I grab it with well, plastic bags are easy. Grab it with a plastic bag, and I got a rocking chair on the porch. I just stick it on the rocking chair and go get it in a couple of days. Man, the mail takes a lot longer to get here than anywhere else in the world. But look, just because I send you something, right, and maybe I've even passed a test that says I'm not infected, there's another 75 people between you and me that handles that mail. Yes, mail is another potential vector of bringing that virus into your home. Let it sit for a couple 3 days. Just let it sit outside. Stick it on the trunk of your car. Put it in your garage. Whatever. You got a boat? Stick it in the boat. It all works. And Lysol, sure, so much the better. It'll make it smell prettier. That'll work. But I don't know anything about what the post office is doing or what the people who work for the post office are doing when they're handling my mail. Yeah, keep it all sanitary. Work on these procedures to keep your life disinfected. Reduce that risk. Paula says, is that the COVID-19 or the other corona? That is, let's see, let's go back to the screen. The number of mutations is the novel coronavirus. This is the big one that's going around right now. This is SARS Corona 2. That's the one that all these people are getting. Yeah. Some of these have nucleotide mutations. Some of these have amino acid mutations. Just a little bit of everything there. Whatever the hell the divergence is. This is a little bit beyond even me. I could probably study this up for, what, 6 months and figure out what the heck this is talking about. But this, to me, is just a whole lot of colors which offer some idea of the genetic diversity this thing is developing. And we can expect this to keep on extending over the next few months. But this is the phylogeny of the novel coronavirus. And that's what it's doing, right? Virus makes more viruses and something goes wrong and now you have another strain. And it makes those viruses in another body and then something goes wrong and you have another strain and another and another. And it just fractures and splinters and mutates. And you have eventually 2629. When I found this site, it was at 1800. If that tells you anything, and that was like a week ago. So we can expect more changes. But so far, these have been pretty minor changes. 1 or 2 genomes at a time. There we go. Let's get back to the chat. And here's my head. There you go. Mask if you made them, Anna says. Absolutely. Something is better than nothing. And these masks people are making using these freely available plans. You got 3 layers of protection in there to help out. So somebody coughing in your face, you got a lot of filtrate material in between you and the person coughing. So it's going to reduce the amount of viral loading should there be some present. But also, if you are infected, uh, when you're breathing out, it's going to reduce the load going out into the room that you're in. So it works both ways. And these are they recommend pure cotton, right? So it breathes easier, uh, and it's also soap and water cleanup. So you don't have to bleach it, which will the bleach and the detergents are going to do the most damage to the elastic straps. But well, if you're using them just when you go out of the house, that'll help out. There's some immunocompromised people that would do well to keep them on all the time. Well, get a few masks. Uh, looking at what is it on these my sister makes. There's the screen. No, that's not it. There you go. I mean, $10 a piece. You know, shipped. That's not too bad. If you need a mask and you've got to order, just get a hold of me with my email, and I'll get the word off to my sister. I'll probably have her on in a few days talking about them. But she's a little camera shy just yet. Okay, Linda says there are all sorts of people on YouTube showing how to make masks. Yes, Ida. Ida, definitely check out that link I posted. I'm going to post it again to the, let's see if I can find it. Here it is. The craftpassion.com face mask sewing pattern. Nope, that was the wrong button. I need copy. There we go. I'll put it back over here in the chat. There we go. And that link should work for you. Let's see. Pipe cleaner sewed across the top makes a nose pinch tight. Correct. Jeff Stanley asks, when it is time to go out, Mr. Slate is going to come out, pull on the bird's tail. We're going to slide down the dinosaur tail yelling yabba dabba doo. Yeah. And then we're going to get the moonshine and just raise hell. Okay. Bill Betts says Amazon workers are getting sick. Yeah, I've heard Amazon is talking about shutting their warehouse or warehouses because of that issue. It's a can of worms. Yep, shipments every day from UPS or FedEx. Yeah, if you can't get it shipped in, you've got to go get stuff locally. And if you're buying stuff locally, that means you got to leave the house, and you are responsible for your own protection. And that's where that mask comes in. Paula says, I'm just going to wrap myself in cellophane. You know what you can do? Those mailers, those padded mailers you get from the post office, they work pretty good. I made some things out of those. Maybe I'll put up a tent in the back and make myself an isolation chamber. That's what I did out here in the woods. It's beautiful. This is Florida right now. That's not Florida. Here's Florida. I'll give you an idea what's going on in Florida. That button. There. Here it is. Now, the governor, in his great wisdom, Ron DeSantis, geez, we had 68, then 70, 74, 82 cases. And this was not enough for him to compel this fellow to order a stay-at-home order for everybody. But he did have a safer at-home order for everybody in South Florida, and that went for a couple of days. Now we've hit 7,773 cases in Florida with 101 deaths, 990 hospital admissions. Can we see any of this? Okay, there it is. There's 773. And here's the counties. I'm way up here, and it's kind of nice. We got 3 cases in my county. That's pretty slick. 1 man, 2 women. The next county over, we got 9. That's Baker County. Down here in, what's this one? Union, we got 1 case. Over here is Swanee. This was 3 cases until today. Now it's 6, and there's 2 men and 4 women. And I'm right up here in the corner up by Hamilton, which has 0 cases. So I'm going to guess that that might be the place to go get my groceries for a while. So in the 4-county area here, what do we have? 6, 9, 18, 19. How many are down here in Bradford? 20, 21, 22 cases. Nothing in Lafayette and Taylor County yet. Nothing in Dixie. Nothing in Gilchrist. Madison has 2 cases. It's a nice little quiet area. Kind of like the reason I picked it out. Yep. But Gainesville, I'm talking to my buddy Travis. He's down in Gainesville. They sent all the college students home, and you got more college students there than anywhere else in the country, it seems, with University of Florida. They got 92 cases down there. Jacksonville's pretty big. Now, to my right over here in Baker County, this is all national forest, it seems. Seriously, Jacksonville, you got 239 cases. That's the hotspot for northern Florida. But down south, yeah, they got thousands. Miami-Dade, 2,200 cases. Broward, 13 and change. What's your Collier counties? That'll be what? Myers, Naples, Fort Myers, 150 over there. Yeah, the bigger the population, the bigger the number of cases. But this is a sparsely populated area. This is all swampland around here. We got the Okefenokee Swamp. Here it is on the map. Where's the map? Let me wait for this to load a bit. We'll zoom out, and you can see all the green area. There we go. There's your Okefenokee Swamp, and that's just mosquitoes and alligators. I mean, 100 miles of mosquitoes and alligators, and the Osceola Wildlife Management. This is just forest, and there's nothing there but trees and mosquitoes. So what do you like better, alligators or trees? Because you're gonna get the mosquitoes either way. And I'm like 2 miles away from this. Yeah, it's a cozy little corner up here. It's quiet. I like it. But I still have to leave the house on occasion. And if I'm going to leave the house, I'm going to wear a respirator. I'm going to take a sanitizing kit with me, right? It's just a simple towel. I can wipe my head, right? Wipe my arms, my face if I need to. I got no problem stripping down. Look, my grandmother always said, you know, we're out in the field working, picking blueberries, and we don't have an outhouse out in the field. So when you gotta go, you just go. And she said, turn away or get a good look. Well, if you have to remove your clothing, you would probably do better with a button-down shirt rather than one you have to pull up over your face. Now, you can wear a respirator while you remove your clothing, but I recommend, you know, sanitizing and disinfecting your entire person as soon as you can. You come in the house, sanitize yourself, your body, your hair, your clothing, your goods that you're bringing in, everything coming through that door. That should be the limit right there when you get to that door. He's on a roll, Ida. It's all the timing. What's Ida saying? Wait a minute. Let me go back and find what Ida said. I'm spraying the boxes with Lysol. Very good. I know, Jeff. I got shipments every day from UPS. Okay, there we go. Did you get your shirt? No shirt yet. Remember, everything takes an extra week and a half to get to here. I just showed you. They got to fight alligators. They got to fight mosquitoes to get out here. It's tough for the mail. Oh, good night, Linda. Take care and you stay safe. Have a great night. Good night. I never do, Ida. It's a struggle. Yep. He's on a roll. Let him go. Ken, did you get your shirt? No, not yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Ken's going to be a blonde in no time. I'll just shave it off, really. You know, what's it worth to your family to shave your head for the duration? Is it worth it? Just, you know, get a crew cut, because it's a whole lot easier to take a towel and wipe your head when there's not a lot of hair on the way. I'm just saying, you know, it would not be a bad idea to wear a babushka. Where is this? This is an old T-shirt. There you go. What do they do this like in Poland, right? Wear one of those when you go out, or a hat, or a cap, or something you can remove. Make it stylish. Let's set fashion aside for the duration. I don't think, you know, do you need a designer bandana? Do you need a designer face mask? Let's not be so full of ourselves. Instead, let's put our attention into protecting our families. Yeah, guess we'll have to be naked from the waist up tomorrow. Well, I'm naked from the waist down right now. That's, you know, it's a lot easier on me. Yeah, look at this. See, it's just a head. Nothing. Yeah. But you have to take responsibility for yourself and your family. The government isn't going to take care of you or your family. They probably don't know you exist. The state, they're not helping. Uh, you are responsible for your own safety. No way! I had to wear a burqa in Saudi Arabia. I'll never put one of those on again. Babushka. My grandmother had these things. They take care of their hair because they get their hair done, and they're always worried about their hair. She got the same hairline I have. It's where I got my hairline from my grandmother. She was a sweetheart though. But yep, they put that little thing. It was just this. I mean, you could see through it. Uh, it's like a veil. It's like a ghost of a babushka. Yeah, it's a lady bandana. Just this little light, airy. I don't know what it was. It was all the rage back in the 70s, though. Okay, well, that's what I got. Now, I do have some good news. And for that, I'm going to go to the screen. Let's see if we can see this. And over on my database here, where did it go here? The U.S. daily numbers. Here we go. Look at this. And we are seeing a change in the rate of growth on the gain. Now, it's still growing every day. We're still getting more cases each and every day. Right? Yesterday was 23,000, almost 24,000 cases. So far today, we've got, let's see, what have we got today? Let me hit that reload button. It doesn't give me a total here. Okay, wait a minute. I'll go to here. We'll hit a million cases worldwide tomorrow. So for the U.S. today, we've gained. Okay, it just reset. All right, it resets about 9 o'clock here. We had 26,000 cases yesterday. We got over 5,000 deaths. I would hate to see that number climb, but it's going to keep on climbing. The deaths follows the number of new cases by a couple, 3 weeks. It takes time for the virus to mature in the body and take over and do the damage and cause the illness and get to the point that it just, the life cycle fails. But the good news is, now I've been doing a projection. That's not it. I've been doing projections. Now, yellow in this, the yellow part is data. Okay, that's the actual counts on each day. Whereas down here, the white part, this is projections. Now, I was basing this on the number of cases from 7 days earlier. Okay, so this is April 1st. If I go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, I'm going to do 8. See, these numbers are the same. Well, I was doing 7, but the numbers started slowing down. I was starting to see a difference between the actual number of new cases and the number of cases from a week ago. Now, I changed it to 8 days, but this is the difference between my estimate, right, and the actual number of new cases. And it was growing, and then it started to slow down. Let me show you this in a graph. Okay, that button. And we'll finish. And this is what the thing is looking like right now. Okay, it was actually starting to slow down. And I can stretch that some. So it's growing and growing and growing, but it's not growing as much. That's a thing. It's now falling short of the projection by a pretty substantial amount. This tells me that the effects of stay the hell at home is showing some results. Now, I'm not doing 7 days anymore. I'm doing 8 days difference. But March 28th, that was 7 days right there to here. And it was falling short. It should have been, it was 26,000. It was actually 19. So that fell short of the projection by several thousand. I changed it to 8 days previous, and still we're falling short of the projection. We're still growing at 24,000 cases per day, but we're not getting the 50,000 cases a day. So this is probably the number of cases that have been reduced by staying home, wearing a mask, not going out, closing the bars, closing the restaurants, closing the the places where people meet. And another thing, which is working great. Okay, I'm going to go back to here. I started out this whole thing showing you exponential growth. Can we see this? Here we go. And you started 100 cases, and we had that on March 2. Then we doubled that to 200 cases, to 400 cases, to 800 cases, to 1,600. And I kept recording what day we crossed that line. And it was coming up every 2 and 3 days, 3 days, 2 days, 3 days, 2 days, 3 days, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. And now, to get to that next point of doubling from 102,000 cases to 204,000 cases, let's see where we are right now. We just broke it today. Wait a minute. I'm going to click this button. And we just broke that today, which is 4. Oh, wait, this button right there, 4. It took 4 days this time. We're starting to see things slow down just a little, just a tiny little bit. That's the wrong line. It belongs here. When did we cross the 100,000 case mark? Let's see. We broke that on March 27. Yep, this is right. And that went from, okay, that was 3 days. This is April 1. And that's 4 days. There we go. It's better than 2 days. It's better than 4 days. Now it's taking, or better than 3 days. It's taking 4. Okay, looking at the projected, and this I was keeping in the same track, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3. And then I changed it to this particular date. How many days since it was half? So I got 68,000, 1, 2, 3. That'd be 70, so it's a little short. So I got to call it 4 days there. But now we're into 5 days. March 31st, these are 5 days doubling. So we hit, what are we at today? I can adjust my numbers for today because it's after 9 o'clock. So there's the USA. We got 215. Let's reload that. 215, 215. You get these funny numbers sometimes. Okay, let's see. April 1st, 215. 215, 215. Let's drag that down. Oh, come on. Okay, we got, what's happened to 215? It's 107,000. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 days. It took 5 days to double that. Okay, let's go over here and do the same darn thing with these figures and see where we're at. And this is a projection now. We projected 53,655 additional cases for today based on what we had 8 days ago. There it is on March 24th. So how close did we get? We fell short by a pretty substantial amount. From 53,000, we got 26,900. So a difference of 41,000 cases because people stayed the fuck home. Yeah, that's good news. Okay, here's 215. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days again. Yeah, we've come into 5-day doubling time. We're slowing it down. It's still growing, but it's not growing at the same rate. Now, let's take the percent gain and look at that graph. And this might be a little more apparent instead of just a column of numbers. There we go. And I can move that over and you get a better look. And yeah, we've been running anywhere from 20 to 40% gain each day. Now here's a funny little dip. And I'm going to say that when I see an oddity like this, kind of an anomaly in the data, that it's probably because of late reporting or early reporting. I'm just gonna ignore that and pretend it's normal. And it's probably, this was a little late and this was a little earlier and then this was a little late, but it's probably like an average of what's around it. But follow that line, it's up, it's down, it's up and down, but now it's substantially lower. And it takes a few days for everybody to stay their hell home to start to see this case count drop because well, you suddenly shut everybody up. You still got a lot of cases that are not yet reported, but they're infected. And now we're starting to see some cases. We got Mardi Gras was a couple of weeks ago. Nobody had a mask on yet. Spring break, people coming from all around the country just to gather in groups. Uh, I'm expecting to see a bit of a rise because of spring break and Mardi Gras. I'm hoping it doesn't show up. And the way this is going, it's looking good. We've got it by the tail. It's still pulling hard, but by God, we got our knuckles on the thing. So that's a bit of good news, but it's still going to take some time for these effects to work. Florida just shut down the state today. Lordy, today, this 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth most cases in the union, and they just shut the state down today. Massachusetts was days ago. Come on, DeSantis, you can do better than that. Well, if your state is not yet closed down, you got over 5,000 cases, you probably can figure that they're going to tell you to stay home. There it is. There's the case counts for the various states. Great site there for you. I'll give you that link. It's Worldometers. And I'll put that over here in the chat if I can do that. This is really complex making this work. So there's some good news. It's not the best news. I'd like to offer the news that there were no new cases, but we're still very early in this. It's just a taste of what's to come, and it's going to be a couple of months of, oh my gosh, I didn't think that could happen here, or I didn't think that could happen to me. Look, just because you've never been sick before with this virus doesn't mean you can't catch it. Just because this sort of thing never happened in your neck of the woods before doesn't, protect you. It's out there. It is highly contagious. Most of us, probably 80% of us, will catch this disease, and 80% of the people who catch it will have a minor case. Just feel kind of loogy for a few days, run a fever for a few days, and a dry cough for a few days, and that'll be it. But there's a good percentage of the people who get very ill because of that, probably because they got a heavy load when they first contracted it. So wear that mask. This is going to do what? It's going to filter the air that you breathe. So if you do get sick, it's going to be a lighter load. It's going to keep you from touching not so much your face, but your mucous membranes. You don't get sick through your face, right? You touch a door handle, you touch your face, you're probably okay. You touch a door handle, and you pick your nose, you're putting that virus directly into your mucous membranes, right? These are barriers the body forms to protect you. But, well, the mask is going to keep you from touching your nose and your mouth. It'll keep you from touching near your face, near these openings. It's not the face, it's the openings. Inside the body is normally sterile. Believe it or not, it's a sterile environment. Okay, maybe not the gut. You get microbes in the gut that perform a purpose. But inside the tissue, that's normally a sterile environment. The body has natural defenses, and they take out bacteria and viruses. It's a good thing. But this one, it gets a hold and replicates pretty rapidly. And before you show symptoms, you can be spreading, you can be coughing out more viruses. Vira, you taking off? Vira? Ida. Sorry, one-track mind, I guess. Ida says, well, I think I'm heading to bed. Y'all have a great night. Someone tell Mr. Ken good night for me when the timing is right. LOL. Ida, you stay groovy, okay? And you stay safe. Hey, make some masks for yourself. Yep. So that's what it comes down to. People are staying home more. They're not mixing. They're keeping some distance between other people when they have to go out. But they're not wearing masks. And the one thing that's going to protect more people than anything else when they go out is wearing a mask. Honestly, it's a matter of life and death. This can protect you, and it can protect the people who are in that area just by reducing the number of viruses that are floating around in the atmosphere. And it's up to you to make a difference for your own good. Now, I can't force it upon you. That's up to you to make that choice to stay healthy, to make the decision to wear a mask of some form. that's what I have for today, folks. Okay, I'm going to take off. Anybody else want to say anything? Because otherwise I'm going to, oh, shut it down. I'll probably make some soup next. Yep, okay. Guys, stay groovy. And if you want, where were those? Here's the screen. If you want information on the masks my sister makes here, just get a hold of me on my email, okay? They're $10 a piece. That covers shipping. She'll need to know, is it for you? How many you want? I think the minimum order is 3. Okay, so $30 for 3. They're washable. She probably has some color selections. I don't really know what the color selections are, but they're pleated. They fit. They go around the ears. Works great. Home. There's face. Good night, Rocky Superstar. Okay. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. You stay safe. I'm going to take off.